In this lesson, we will learn how to bind geometry to joints in Cinema 4D. So again, when we bind a mesh, we cause it to deform by a joint chain we assign it to. So in this lesson, we'll have our fueling line deform by its joint chain. So let's get started by first working with a selection object. It's just a fast way to go in and grab all of our skin joints. And then we'll just go in and create a bind and take a look at how well our hose deforms. So if we were to middle click on our fueling line root, what we can do is now choose Select, Selection Filter, Create Selection Object. So you can see by looking at the Selection Objects Object tab, we have all objects that are contained. We have a list of them, and we can most certainly add to this list by simply dragging and dropping. Okay, let's say we go ahead and rename our selection object. That's going to be cell obj underscore skin joint 01. And then we could always add this to our global group, which is grp enum pvtol. All right, well, now that that's taken care of, let's go ahead and show our fueling line. We've hidden it from the Objects Manager, so we'll just go ahead and unhide it. And now, if we were to double-click on our selection object, its icon, notice we now can instantly grab all of those objects. We can now shift-select our mesh and choose Character Commands Bind. And now let's take a look. When we go in and grab our goal object and start to move it, you can see that our fueling line now deforms, which is great. And because we're using several joints, that in turn gives us a very good bind initially. So that is how we bind to geometry in Cinema 4D. If you were to take a closer look at the fueling line, let's go ahead and select it. And we'll take a look at its weight tag. You can see here, this is where we'd go to see all joints assigned to the skin of this object. And again, you can add more joints by simply just dragging and dropping. Also, if we were to expand the fueling line, you can see that we have a skin object. We can use other properties here to get the best result from the deformations of this mesh. All right, well, we have skinned our geometry. What's left to do? Well, all we need to do now is a little bit of cleanup work. This Cap2 object, this should actually follow our aircraft. So what I'll do is simply go ahead and add this to the gas cap object here at the top. If you need to, feel free to go ahead and make a copy of your Objects Manager. Here's the gas cap. I'll go ahead and scroll down to find Cap2. I'll just go ahead and make sure that it's added underneath the gas cap. All right, great. You can see where Cap 1 is. That's at the opposite end of our hose, so we're good to go. But in the next lesson, what we'll do is just kind of clean up everything in our scene. We'll bring our objects back, and we'll look for any objects we need to rename. We'll also double check to make sure that the scene overall is animator friendly.